Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum to everyone that's watching this right now, especially to Miss Shafiqah, which is our lecturer from Kuliah 16. Hi, my name is SAFI and today my group will be presenting about copper to sulphate in medicines. Without any further ado, let's get started. Our group stands of 4 members, which is the first one, it's gonna be me, SAFI, followed by MAISARAH, HAIKAL and HAZIQ. So here's our content that we're going to talk about later in our video. I'll be presenting the first one, which is about the introduction of what is copper to sulphate and also the first part of health benefits of copper to sulphate. So let's just get started with the introduction of what is copper to sulphate. Copper to sulphate is an organic compound comprised of copper, sulfur and oxygen whose formula is CuSO4, which we are all very aware of. Before we get into it any further, I would like to state what is copper. Copper is one of the elements that is large in amount and can be found in earth crust and also in seawater. It also considered as an active metal. Therefore, it dissolves in almost all acids and alkalis. Copper also reacts with oxygen from air and also carbon dioxide to form copper carbonate. Okay, let's continue with what is copper to sulphate. Copper to sulphate is an odorless crystalline substance, electric blue in color, highly toxic and not safe to work with. In its solid crystal shaped stone form, which is a pentahedrite, it's known as bluestone or blue vitriol for its blue color. By now, we already know that copper to sulphate is famous for its very beautiful blue color, right? Next, copper to sulphate also dissolves in almost all acids and alkalis as it is an active metal, as I stated before. In its solid form, it's popular raw material for producing other types of copper sulphate. In its liquid or powdered form, it's most commonly called basic copper sulphate, BSC copper fungicide, CP basic sulphate, or tribasic copper sulphate. In moist air, it reacts with oxygen and carbon dioxide to form hydrated copper carbonate. Again, like I stated before. So in this slide, you can see there are two pictures of copper to sulphate. The bigger one is the crystal shaped stone form, which is the pentahedrite that I just talked about before, and the smaller one is the powdered form of copper to sulphate. As you can see, it has one similar characteristic, which is the beautiful blue color. Next, we're going to talk about the health benefits of copper to sulphate. Copper to sulphate has been used in various fields including medicine, either from a medical center or from homes. We're going to talk about the health benefits into two parts, which is the first part going to be presented by me. It's going to be about health benefits in plants, and the second part will be presented by HAZIQ, which is the health benefits in humans and animals. In plants, copper to sulphate is used to control bacteria and fungus growth on fruits, vegetables, and other crops. Next, when combined with lime and water, copper sulphate works as a protective fungicide and is used to protect plants during seed treatment before they grow. Therefore, they wouldn't have any problem when they grow up. Next, in tropical climates, it's used as molluscicide, which is a snail bait that controls pests like snails and slugs from damaging plants and crops. As we know, in tropical climates, they are more to moist environment. Therefore, these places are one of the favorite places for pests like snails and slugs. Other than that, copper to sulphate also used to destroy algae and bacteria caused by growing algae in swimming pools or swamps or ponds. Lastly, copper to sulphate can be applied to your plants before disease starts as a preventative, as well as when you begin to notice the dark spots of infection show. Here I've prepared a video on how they destroy the algae in the swamp using copper to sulphate. Let's watch it. So in this video, they're using copper to sulphate to destroy the algae in the swamp. By the end of the video, you can see that the swamp is already clean.
So today I will continue what Safi HAZIQAH has said about the benefits of copper to sulphate.
Okay, before that, this is HAZIQ. He forgot to introduce himself. And this is HAZIQ. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, I will tell you about the benefit of copper to sulfate for animal. Did you know this that bluestone can remove a thorny fungus? How? We use a tablespoon of copper sulfate in a bucket of water to treat thorny fungus and soak the thorny for 10 minutes a day for 7 days in the solution, and it can remove a thorny fungus if we use it regularly. Okay, for the second, it can cure for what? Said to be a modern Indian remedy that soak the bluestone rock or crystal in water, then use a toothpick, apply it to a wart, and it can cure for what? It can also be used in test blood for anemia. How? The blood is tested by dropping it into a solution of copper sulfate of non-specific gravity. Then we can know how the blood of anemias people. Okay. It can also teach us release how we place a tiny amount on a cotton tip and place it on the cavity for seconds, then rise your mouth truthfully. But you should know that we only use a tiny amount, because if we use excessive, it can kill the nerve under our tooth. Okay, for this slide, we can see that the uses of copper to sulfate in our daily life, such as test blood of anemia people, and in medicine that we also use is lemicil, and also to remove the fungus and clean the river. Next
Assalamualaikum
slide.
and hi everyone. My name is MAISARAH and I'm from Kuliah 16. Today I'm going to tell you guys about the side effect of copper sulfate and how can we avoid from overdose it. What is the side effect of copper sulfate? What if we abuse or what if we overdose it? So the first symptom that you will get is nausea. So what is nausea? So nausea is an uneasiness of the stomach that often comes before vomiting. So stomach discomfort and the sensation that you want to vomit. So what is vomit? So vomiting is throwing up stomach contents through mouth. So the second symptom that you will get is dysgeusia. So dysgeusia, also known as paragusia. So this is metallic taste in mouth even though there's nothing in our mouth. So this can cause fatigue that will lead to feeling exhaustion and lack of energy. So the third symptom that you will get is dyspepsia. So dyspepsia is burning chest pain, have burning or pain in the upper part of your stomach. This can cause heart attack or aortic dissection. So sometimes it can relieve by food. So what is other effect of copper sulfate? So if our eye contact with copper sulfate, it can cause conjunctivitis, inflammation of eyelid lining, ulceration and clouding of the cornea. So there's in the picture in the slide. So how to avoid overdose of copper sulfate? So first we have to take the copper sulfate with the right quantity. So the quantity is depends on the condition of being treated, other medications you are taking, how you respond to this medication, your weight, your height, your age, and your gender. If left untreated, high dose exposure to copper sulfate in some situations can cause death.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HAIKAL bin Muhammad Tajawuddin. My number metric AS11659. So now I will talk about the side effect of copper sulfate for children. If we look on this slide, we can conclude that the side effects of copper sulfate for children is same like other effects. It means that these children will get the conjunctivitis, ulceration, or clouding of the cornea. This is because many research has been done by doctors, but they cannot find the specific side effect if the copper sulfate enter their body. So they can conclude that the children has more sensitivity to copper sulfate. Second, the children may be sensitive to pesticide. So how can this statement become true? If the children is play around the ground that has contaminated to copper sulfate, and these children put their hand or object without washing to the mouth, so the copper sulfate will easily enter their body and destroy their body system. Next, the important warnings and precautions when handling the copper sulfate. The important warnings and precautions is the workers that handling the copper sulfate must wash or change their clothes daily, because if they did not wash their clothes after handling copper sulfate, the copper sulfate will easily spread to environment. Second, they need to wear a specific clothes like boots, protective gloves, and goggles, so the copper sulfate will not expose to the skin body. Third, we must put the dangerous label at the containers that containing the copper sulfate, so the workers that handling the copper sulfate will handle with caution.
Okay, for the last slide, guys. Last slide. I promise this is the last slide. Okay, you should listen carefully because this is the last slide. Okay, for the last slide is I will tell you about the toxic impact for human of the bluestone. Okay, according to the studies, the lowest dose of copper sulfate that had a toxic impact on human is 11 mg per kg because of its irritating effect on a gastrointestinal tract. Vomiting is automatically triggered in case of the ingestion of copper sulfate. Okay. However, if copper sulfate is retained in the stomach, the substance can be serviced. Okay. Next, after 1 to 12 grams of copper sulfate are swallowed, such poisoning signs may occur, as a metallic taste in the mouth, burning pain in the chest, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, headaches, discontinued urination, which leads to yellowing of the skin. In case of copper sulfate poisoning, injury to the brain, stomach, liver, or kidney may also occur. Okay, that's all from us. Now, for the last video, I should recap that you should know is what is copper sulfate, health benefits of copper sulfate, possible side effect. The third point, long-term side effect and the side effect in children, how to avoid from overdosing, and important warning and precaution. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.
Big thanks to Miss Shafiqah, which is our lecturer, for giving us this opportunity to explain about copper sulfate uses in medicines. And I hope you like this video. If you do like this video, and if this video is helpful to any of you out there, please give this video a big thumbs up. I think that's all from us. Thank you.